Before I start, I want to say, as I speak, my words are cutting like butter. You're paying close attention to the words I'm saying. What's up, everybody? So, this episode is going to be titled, Why This Decade? Why this is going to be a wild decade. Or at least a wild next 5 years, most likely. But these next 5 years are going to be insane, mind-boggling, unfathomable. Obviously, this COVID-19 situation has set the stage, but it's only the beginning, and it hasn't even reached its full potential. You know, there's a wise guy I was listening to online, financial guy, and he was saying that this is going to last about 5 years. It's going to be a 5-year cycle, and 5-year cycle of disruption, essentially, and it's only just begun. So here's why I say this is going to be a wild decade. This is where I predict the future. Ooh, I got reason number one. The U.S. market will crash or go through another drastic shift. Let me repeat that. The U.S. market will crash or go through another drastic shift. Why do I say that? Well, for starters, the U.S. deficit is at $3.1 trillion in 2020. That's 3 times larger than it was in 2019. And only growing because, you know, we have COVID relief. Every country has to go through a way of rebooting the economy after this COVID-19 situation, right? And whether I don't want to get into a scientific discussion about COVID-19, right? It doesn't matter. There's an economic ramifications for the virus, right? There's economic ramifications. And so COVID-19 is put stressors on every country's economy, right? And the U.S. economy, let's be honest, man, we have a lot of debt and it's only growing. And all it takes is for the people the country owes money to is to call up those debts. Also, another reason why the U.S. market will go through another crash or deficit is that COVID relief cannot revive dead industries. There's certain industries that are never going to return back to normal. Air travel is never going to go back to normal. Cruise trips are never going to go back to normal. Travel in general is never going to return back to pre-COVID because you can't go back in life. When things happen, things happen. It's just the tone, at least for the foreseeable future. Restaurant industry will never go back to normal because even if they get the vaccine, all that kind of stuff, like there's still going to be a constriction on how. It's not the same. It's not the same. And who knows, every year there might be a new strain of COVID-19, right? Once the government gets involved and there's policies and state regulations, it changes things, right? Like whether you believe it or not, the state is involved and there's regulations and politics involved that are going to affect the industry. So it's not going to go away, but the restaurant industry is going to have to change. And many industries like that are going to have to change, right? Some industries are going to see a huge boom, right? Well, we've already seen a huge boom, but some industries are going to be very hurt by it. Number two, reason number fucking two, the fall of rap music. Yeah, I said it, man. I said it. Now, let me say this to disclaimer. Music will never die, right? It's a part of life. It's a part of the human spirit. It's very important in our lives. But the music or the popular music of the time has to reflect the times. Rap is the largest music genre in the U.S. right now, right? It's the largest genre. Those are the most, those artists sell the most records. You have Cardi B, you have Drake, Future, you have all these artists. These are the Kendrick Lamar, right? All these artists, it's the most popular genre, but I'm just saying this right now, rap music is on a decline and it has to evolve. You know, it has to reflect the times. I'm going to say this right now, right? Look, the game of music is music, obviously. It's very important to listen to, right? Especially if it's a very deep song and it really speaks to you, right? But really, rappers and musicians in general have to compete with long-form media, meaning videos like this, podcasters, memes, all these Reddit. They have to compete with all these other outlets. It's a game. It's a battle of attention, right? So the musician has to not just compete with other musicians, but also with your attention. with your attention. So, you know, and as like I said, you know, a lot of things are gonna happen in the market, and so when there's chaos, the people need order. And when it comes to rappers, they're not really I'm not saying the most rappers. There's great artists out there, right? The best artists will only be the most popular artists will only be the best artists, the people who actually make real music that really speaks to the people, right? And there'll be a lot less average artists who don't say anything really in their music and who aren't really, offering value to the people. Sorry about that. Okay, so there's that. Number three, the rise of unconventional media. So major media outlets. We have CNN, we have MSNBC, we have Fox News, right? These are the major outlets. Washington Post, Bloomberg News. These are the major outlets. The thing is, it's no fucking surprise that media is for profit, and the people who run these media outlets are only going to promote things that are in line with their interests, right? You got Fox on the right, CNN, and all these other people, MSNBC on the left, right? So, they're only going to promote what is in line with their values or what they're trying to push out to the masses. That's all fine and dandy, right? But what you need to understand is that when they say have you ever heard the phrase, "the revolution will not be televised"? That's some cool thing to say. But what that really means to me, how I'm seeing it, is that there's gonna be a dichotomy. There's gonna be a separation from what the people are into and what the major media outlets say, right? What I'm seeing is that the rise of YouTubers. There's gonna be YouTubers and podcasters, for example, Joe Rogan, guys like that, who are very popular with the masses, but they're not going to get any major media outlet coverage. So what the people are into will not reflect what the media shows the masses, right? So there's going to be a dichotomy, right? It's so evidenced by Donald Trump, for example, right? Love him or hate him, whatever the fuck, right? Donald Trump is a guy who's very popular with certain people, extremely popular with certain people, but the media does not promote him the same way, right? They promote him in a bad light, obviously, but to his supporters, they see him differently. And that's only going to increase. It's only going to increase. What is popular on the major media outlets will not reflect what the people really feel. And that's very, I'm not saying dangerous, but I'm just saying that's going to be something that's going to be a big factor. It's going to play a big factor. There's going to be a breakdown. There's going to be a rise of unconventional media. So outlets who are not CNN, yada, 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 right? There's going to be a rise of those media outlets. And it's going to be a big break from what major media says and what, those unconventional media outlets say. And so you're going to see a lot of rising stars who are a lot of quietly rising stars. People who are popular, but you and me don't know about them because major media is not promoting them to us. Number 4, the breakdown of the educational system. Right? Look, U.S. college debt is through the roof. Right? We all have debt, man. Like we all have. I think the number was like the average person has like 50 grand or 70 grand in debt, whatever the hell it is, right? There's a huge U.S. debt, man, and I don't know who's gonna like. It's really, man. And think about this, how things play, man. Everything's all adding together. The market, if the U.S. market goes through a decline, that's gonna put stress on the person who's trying to get by, who also has a college debt, right? So that the college debt's really an issue, which is why a lot of these politicians are looking for ways to give loan forgiveness, right? So number one, the big piece of that is that there's breakdown of the U.S. educational system, which has shown itself in a large debt, right? Number 2, the U.S. college enrollment is down 11% from 2011 to 2019. That's pre-COVID. Pre-COVID has been a decline in college enrollment. All right, there's a 40% increase in the risk of private college closures as well. Right, all this all means is that colleges aren't really offering the value they're supposed to offer. How I think this is going to look in this decade. There's going to be a rise of apprenticeships, right? For example, let's say you wanted to go into sports journalism. if Stephen A. Smith was offering a $50,000 a year program where you work with him, right, and you get to, work with his network and meet him and talk to him, would you not? Isn't that more worth it than going to XYZ college in your neighborhood, right? So there's gonna be a rise of popular figures or people who had success. They're gonna offer their own programs, their own colleges, their own There's gonna be like a rise of apprenticeships. That's an old school thing where you work with the master, right? Let's say you want to learn a trade, you want to learn how to fucking to be a plumber. You work with a plumber, right? That's gonna get more popular. It's gonna grow in this decade. And how I also see that being is this, so look, it's gonna be a lot of college closers, right? But the top schools like the Harvards, the Stanfords, the Princetons, the Yales, they're always gonna be in business. Those are the best schools. Those schools still attract top talent and it's still worth it to go to those schools. The average schools, right, below top 50 or what the fuck you want, maybe below top 20. I don't fucking know. You can come up with that yourself. But all other schools that are not Harvard, Yale, Princeton, they're gonna have to either offer more professional programs, which then means is, nursing schools. You're going to see more schools with nursing schools. You're going to see more PA schools. You're going to see more dentistry, medical schools, things like that. Like, you have to offer a professional degree, which can guarantee the student revenue, an income, right? So you're going to see more of that. But if the school can't compete and offer that, they're going to close, right? So it's going to be the top schools still in business. Everybody else is going to either have to offer professional programs or they're going to have to close, right? And then you're also going to see apprenticeships. So this is how I see the market. This is why I'm saying it's going to be a fucking crazy decade. There's more things I can add in here, but those are the four major things. Just repeat. Number one, the U.S. market, we're going to go through another decline, right? And I think it's going to be around the U.S. Debt. U.S. has a large deficit, a large debt that it owes. That's going to come to fruit. They're going to have to, it's going to be an issue going forward. Number two, the fall of rap music. Rap music is going to change. Music has to change because it has to reflect the times, the chaos in the times, and the musicians have to really, adjust to that. They have to do something. Like, they have to say what the people are really feeling. And I don't think the current musicians do that. Number three, the rise of unconventional media, meaning there's going to be popular YouTubers and podcasters who are more popular than major media figures, right? For example, Joe Rogan. Number four, the breakdown of the educational system. Traditional education has gone to shit, especially with Zoom out there and kids aren't going into classes and, Jesus, a lot of crap out there. But this is why I say this decade is going to be extremely wild. It's going to be a lot of chaos. It's going to be more than it's going to be, we can't fathom it. I'll just say that. We can't fathom the changes that are about to occur. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you agree, have some of your own opinions, please comment in the video in the comment section. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.